Hi, my name is Laurie, and I struggle with bipolar disorder type 2 and borderline personality disorder. I wanted to talk today about how I manage or how I cope with morning depression. And so a few months ago, I was watching some YouTube videos on depression, and I saw a video about a guy and how he managed or coped with morning depression. And what he said was pretty standard to what I've heard from psychiatrists and therapists. And he said the important thing for him is to have a schedule and to be consistent in what he does each day. And so he said if he wakes up in the morning and he's depressed, he immediately makes himself get in the shower, and then he goes to the gym and works out, and then he continues on with his day. And I thought, well, that's really great, and it's working for him, and I'm sure it works for other people, but that strategy doesn't work for me. So I thought I'd go over what I do. So first of all, if I wake up in the morning depressed, it hits me the moment I sit up in bed. And this is how it usually plays out. I sit up in bed, I look around the room, and I realize, oh my gosh, it's true. This is my life. Like, it's all true. I am still mentally ill. I still am fat. I'm still broke. My circumstances are all the same. Like, oh my gosh, this is my life. And I immediately start bawling. I mean, just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And then it's, I don't understand. Why did God create me? I don't understand. Why am I even here? Why? Like, why? And I am just so depressed and so just overrun with negative feelings, negative emotions. And I'm just sobbing and crying. So at that point, there is no way that I can just jump up and take a shower and go to the gym or go anywhere in public or be around other people. So what I've learned to do, and this is actually something that my therapist suggested to me, is I get up, and if I'm depressed and I'm like that, I go ahead and cry for a little while, and I feel sorry for myself, and I go over everything that's wrong and all the negative, and how am I going to change this? How am I going to change my circumstances? How am I going to get better? How am I going to feel better? And I go ahead and process all of that information and go through it. And then as I start to calm down a little bit, yeah, I'm still depressed, and yeah, I still have tears, but I have a little bit more control because I've allowed myself to feel what I'm feeling. I've allowed myself to get out those emotions, and I have just a little bit more control. And then at that point, I will say, okay, Laurie, you have bipolar. You woke up depressed, and you've allowed yourself to feel that depression, and you may continue to feel depressed throughout the day, but it is time for you to get started. And then I will go ahead and get a shower. And then I kind of assess how I feel. How depressed am I? Am I able to function? The main thing is I want that shower. I want to feel refreshed, and I want to feel clean. Then if I feel like, okay, you can push through this, then I will say, okay, I'm going to study my Bible today, or I'm going to read a book that is encouraging or helps me to learn more about my illnesses and what I might be able to do to help myself feel better. And so I try and do something that I feel like is constructive. And then the next thing is I'll say, okay, you have to do something around the house. You have to do a chore like wash the dishes, do laundry. Depending on how depressed I am, depends on what I do. And I know that each time I do something, I'm like, okay, Laurie, you're struggling with depression, but look, you've gotten your shower. You've read your Bible today, and now you've done a load of laundry. And I really think that if you work at it, you could pick one other thing that you could get done. And then I will sometimes just sit after that and watch something on TV that makes me feel a little bit lighter. I don't watch comedies because they're not funny when I'm depressed. And I don't watch something too dark. I used to just be drawn to really dark programs, and where crime shows, things where people were dying, and it was really serious stuff. Now if I'm going to watch like a drama, it's got to have some lightheartedness to it and be a little not quite as dark. And so I will do that, and I will allow myself just to binge watch television, knowing that, hey, I'm sick. I don't feel well. If I had the flu, if I had a cold, if I had high blood pressure, well, I would do things to make myself feel better, and I would probably rest. So I have mental health problems. I don't feel good, and I need to allow myself to rest. And usually by the end of the day, I at least feel a little better about myself. And I feel like, okay, hey, you were depressed. You didn't feel good, but you accomplished some things. You know, like you did something today. Good for you. And so anyway, I hope that helps someone else that is struggling with morning depression. Thank you for watching. Bye.